What's up, Travel Chronicles? We're getting close to Thanksgiving, so we'll call this the November Chronicles. I don't know if I can. No, I can't zoom. Angle's a little bit different this time around, mostly because this is a different car. And the reason for that is because November has not been great so far, unfortunately. And you have months like that. You have sometimes it's days, sometimes you have bad days, sometimes you have bad weeks, and then other times you put it together and you got a stretch that is not great. So what's been going on here that's not been the great stretch? Well, it actually started in October. I mean, if you want to put like dates and say, well, November 1st, that's a different month entirely. To me, time is a man-made construct. So, you can finite months, days, whatever you want to, but it's been about a month of, I don't want to say horrible luck, right? I still feel, blessed by the Lord. But it has been a month run of struggle, of hardship, of trying to figure things out. So today, it's the 21st of November, got a call from where Mom is staying, and they are moving her to the nursing home. So for the last she's been in there since 21, 21. About 3-4 years she's been in there. And her mind has not been right for the last 3 years, like at all. I don't know if she had a stroke or what, but something has happened. And she's been in this facility for the last 3 years. And for the first month and a half, she was in the nursing part when she came out of the hospital. And then she's been in assisted living ever since. And her mind has just deteriorated. At first she could make calls and things. And now she's got to the point where she's not even concerned with the phone. I don't even think she knows how a phone works. At one point she did call 911, which was interesting. She has not done that recently. So that's good. But she's fallen down a few times. She will go into the wrong room. She will make appearances in other people's rooms unannounced, thinking it's her room. Does she yell at people? Maybe. I know she has yelled at some staff and tried to hit them, but she's not going to do any physical harm to anybody because she's an old lady in a wheelchair. But her condition has deteriorated. And today they're she's been trying to go to the exits, on top of the falls. Plus she's been pocketing her pills. She's not taking her medicine like she's supposed to. And her general attitude's been draining on people. It's been draining on me. It's a shame to say. I hate to say it because it's my mom, but it's hard to go and see her because you don't know what you're going to get when you talk to her. You don't know who she's going to think you are. So that's hard. And there's no light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's no recovery. It's not like she broke an arm and it's all right, her arm's going to get better at some point. It's her head, it's her mind. And every day it's worse, and it's getting worse. And it's not going to get better. So that's the hard thing here. And they recognize it. They've seen this before. This isn't anything new for them, and I understand it. So I'm not going to sit here and fight it and go, no, she has to stay in her room. But I think there are going to be difficulties because she's kind of running on autopilot in my mind right now. Dementia is one of those diseases that when it locks onto you, your mind just gradually disappears, and it's a survival instinct when you get down to it, right? The mind is trying to jettison anything that is not absolutely critical to your survival. So what's critical to survival? Eating is critical, right? You need to lay down, you got to sleep. That's critical. everything else becomes expendable, at some point. Names of people, where you live, how to do things, drive, crochet, like your hobbies. That stuff doesn't matter anymore. It's how do I survive? So to me, Mom is in complete survival mode. Now, with them moving her, I did send them some information about potential peptide treatments. Like, I don't know what they'll do. I don't know what their protocols are, but I've listened to a lot of longevity broadcasts, and I think Dr. Jeffrey Gladden and Gladden Longevity. I like, if you have means, capabilities, his goal is stated. How do you live? How do you make 100 the new 30? How do you live long and active past 100? So looking at 130, and it's like, and if you take that as your target date and you say, I'm going to live to 120 or past 120, like, that's my goal, it changes your mentality of where, okay, I'm going to die 6 months after I retire. It's like, no, I'm going to live for a very long time. I need to do things, one, financially to be in place, two, physically to be in place. And I look at my mom, who's 95 years old, and I don't know that, that was necessarily a goal or even a thought process of her, advancing through age. And eventually she was just living, right? And she will fight tooth and nail to live. Like, she lived on her own for 20 plus years after my dad died, and I moved out after college, but she lived there by herself for 20 years and, survived. Like, I'm not going to say she thrived. I mean, she had her hobbies, she had her stuff that she did. She would make stuff for other people. She would make food, for other people when they visited, for holidays and stuff. But she wasn't doing things for her own benefit, to go see places, to do things, to experience things. She wasn't doing that. She was just making it through. So, at this point in her life, it's just, kind of dropped off gradually. I don't know if the peptides will help. I don't even know if they'll do it. She's on Medicaid now at this point because she has no money. So, that's unfortunate. It's fortunate that it's been taken care of and that she has an opportunity to stay inside with people that will take care of her. So, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I'm not going to fight them because I can't bring her to my house. Like, I'm not equipped to handle that. And I don't have the time. Like, I'm not there during the day. I can't leave her by herself. And she gets around in a wheelchair. So, I don't know. She would be confined to, like, one room in my house. She has a little bit of place to roam now, but that's kind of also a little bit scary because how far is she going to go? But she has no concept. So that's part of the November, right? At the end of October, the reason that I'm in a different car is because my daughter got hit by another driver. So, not even her fault. She was stopped letting somebody pull into a gas station, and somebody just, ran right into her. And the bad thing is, like, the person had to make a right-handed turn and then, like, go about 100 feet, if that, and then run right into her. It's like, you just made a turn. Like, you can't be going that fast. You're not coming on a straight going through a green light. Like, you had to come down the interstate, like, turn right, and then you drove right into her. So that's frustrating, because that's not her fault. It's not our fault. It's somebody else's fault. But now we've got to deal with the insurances. We've got to find another vehicle because her schedule's not the same as her brother's, not the same as her mom's. There's nobody that can just drive her to these classes and to her job. So we got to figure that out. And finally, this week, after 3-4 weeks, we've kind of resolved that. And to me, car shopping sucks, for one. It sucks what Nationwide did to us, because they sent us through this C3 referral thing that was telling us the value of our car, and it was taking these snapshot values from different points in the year where they saw the value of this car, And it was, oh, $4,900. Ooh, that's what your car's worth. And it's like, I looked at all the things, because it documents the car, where it was, who was selling it, what the price was, what the options were. And I looked, all the cars that are listed on this thing are gone, right? And it's from, maybe 3-4 months ago. So what I'm thinking is, you either need to update your database every, 2 months. I'm not sure how long it takes to run these things. This seems like something that AI would be pretty good at going out and grabbing prices. And, and I know they're looking for, obviously, the cheapest price out there, but I'm looking at for a price of what this car is, what does it take to replace this car? And everywhere I look for a comparable car, a 2010 Volkswagen Jetta, the price is $9,000, between, at a minimum between $7,000 and $9,000, especially for the mileage, because this car had less than 40,000 miles on it. Now you're talking, nines, like high nines. Like, I can't even find a car that had that low miles on that was this tight. So, one, it doesn't exist. Two, we got a great deal on it to start with, which is good, because if I paid $10,000 for that car and now I'm trying to replace, they're only giving me $6,000 because the cars they find are only worth, $6,000. And it's like, well, here's one that's $7,000 that's kind of like your car, but not quite, because it doesn't have the same options. But it was a manual, which is the car that we had as an automatic, so that's going to be, in my mind, that's a higher price. But they found these 2 automatic cars that were less than $5,000 that had a better engine in it, and I'm like, there's no way, right? And the car's on there to verify that the car's damaged, there's something wrong with the car, it's gone. It was a snapshot in time that existed for maybe 30 seconds, and that's all it takes to make it on this report. So to me, that Triple C report is complete garbage. And I understand they have an audience because they're selling the information to the insurance company, and the insurance company is buying that information with the the promise that they're going to save thousands of dollars, because this report is showing them data that the car's just not worth it anywhere that we can find. And this is a unbiased person. It's like, yeah, they're unbiased because you're paying them. That's the way that system works. So that's complete garbage in my mind, because every car we found, and I could have found probably more expensive cars, but 2010, and I was looking for other models of Volkswagen Jettas that are close to the same year to give them, and those prices were still in the same range, and it was not $6,000. What they wanted to give was $5,500 plus like $500, I think, for taxes and stuff. So it was just utterly ridiculous. I guess the advice is, if you do get hit by somebody else, just lawyer up right away. Just lawyer up, get the money. Be willing to pay the lawyer, because the insurance company is going to screw you. They are going to. It's going to cost you $2,000 to $3,000 just having to deal with the insurance. So that's where that lawyer can come in and maybe get you some more money, but then you're going to be paying them. So the thought process is the car is not worth that much anyway, so why pay $2,000 for a lawyer that's just going to take the $2,000 that they get me, for the other stuff. So it's frustrating. So we had to deal with that. Finally got that taken care of, sort of. We have a car now. Daughter's got a car. We still have the other car. They haven't come and taken it yet because we haven't agreed to the money, but I think we've agreed to the price point now, just because it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the hassle. So we end up being out $2,000, switching to another car that has higher mileage. It's 1 year newer, but probably not garage kept and driven by a grandma. That's what we had before. That's not what this car is. It probably doesn't have quite as many features either. I know it doesn't have the heated seats like this other car had. So, just kind of a mess. And it wasn't worth getting repaired. There was some risk because, one, the airbag light was on, which it says you need to go to a dealership to have them fix that, which my understanding is about a $1,500 fix. And the damage to the back end of the car because the airbag didn't go off because it wasn't a front end collision, it was a back end collision. Was bumped out around the gas tank. So now there's structural damage around the gas tank. It's like, do you want to deal with that? It's like, not particularly. So that's how November's been. And I had to go to Michigan for training for a week. So I couldn't do my other stuff that I had been doing. I haven't played pickleball in about a month. I'm going to try to play tomorrow. So maybe things are turning around. Maybe mom will get better. Maybe they'll put her on one of these peptide treatments. I don't know. Things will get better. I know. But this is, there's peaks and valleys. And the last 4 weeks have been a valley. And when you realize you're going through valleys, okay, deal with it. I mean, we did get another car out of it because I needed to trade my car in because it was so high on miles. And it was just like, can we find it? But while we're car shopping, it's like, all right, let's look for these other ones. Okay, here's a Sportage, kind of car that Dina wanted before. 2 years ago when we were looking for a car and there weren't any, ended up with a Jeep. Not complaining about the Jeep. Now the Jeep's mine for probably the next 6-7 years, provided it stays in good working order. So, yeah, that's where we're at. No, I haven't got a chance to work on the house in Beltsville either to get it turned around. Hopefully sell it. And we haven't got our oil and gas money either. That's where we're at. All right, well, that's all I got for now because I'm off to do basketball because we had upwards the last 2 weeks, which is also taking 4 days away. I lost about 4 days of work because of, I'm not saying 4 days of work, I lost a week because of the training, and then, a whole day of travel, and then equivalent of 2 days, well, no, a day, because of meetings for something that didn't help me at all. Okay. That's all I've got. That's all I've got now. So, be careful. Be COVID free. Oh, and my son almost broke his foot. He dropped a weight on it. So now he's a little bit laid up from that. So, all right. Great week. Hopefully things are looking up. Be careful. Be COVID free. Later.